Guys, welcome back to another episode. This one's freaking sick. I'm so excited. Working on the R32 again, brand new parts. As always, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Yes!
Tell me, is it whack up in the air? Rapping scattered off the gear. I can map him, yeah, he is. Like a tracker, get distracted, send him back like in the mail. Not a fraction of them real. Catch him lacking, run the drill. Running through the shit like a motherfucking dage.
Alright, so if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this box rocked up in the mail just the other day. First time I've ever purchased brand new coilovers. So let's dive into this. Of course, we went with BC Racing custom coilovers. Shout out to them, they even sent me a shirt. Freaking sick. Coolest shirt ever. And we got the extreme low. Got the spanners as well, BC Racing imprinted on there. That's freaking hot as. We got the extreme low, and this is fake because I've already actually taken one of these out and had a look. But this here is a freaking BC Racing coilover. Yeah, they're the BR series, and it comes with brand new nuts and washers and freaking dampening settings. Spring load, I think, is preset. I'll have to read the instructions. But if it is, there's a shitload of travel in this spring. Surely I'll have to tighten it a little bit. I don't know, I'll have to check that. But this is wound all the way down, right? And then if we go over here and compare it to the BC coilover that came in the car when it was dropped on its ass, look at that. We're heaps lower than it. And these have all the preload and no chop springs. Like that's a chop spring to make it that low. But yeah, how freaking sick. I'm so keen. You know what one of the freaking best things is that I'm so freaking excited about? That I was heaps bummed out about the last ones, the CST coilovers that I had to sell. Dane bought them from Loco. I was so gutted because they were black and gold and they matched the car so freaking good. And these are black and gold, and it just happened to be that way. I didn't know what color I was getting. I just emailed them and I was like, I want coilovers that go super low and that fit this car, obviously. And they were like, oh yeah, we've got a range that's called extreme low. Like, how nuts is that? Pretty freaking nuts. So these coilovers are gonna be absolutely amazing. And I got the spanners, so I don't have to use a hammer and a screwdriver and butcher them. So let's get them in the car and drop it down, see how freaking low it is. I'm actually so bloody pumped for this, like so freaking pumped. And that means the R32 is going to be a rolling shell, and then after that we're going to have a look and try and fit on the body kit that I've already got, that I've had for yonks. It's freaking exciting. I'll put these on and off about 10 times, so it should be pretty easy. Also, I did just read the manual, and it says make sure a trained and qualified person installs your coilovers, otherwise not covered. Also, don't over tighten them. Don't use a torque wrench. Don't use an impact gun. Only spanners and a torque wrench, which I always do. Also, for these coilovers, you get to choose the spring rate. I chose 9 kilograms in the front and 6 in the rear. So you want it stiff for drifting. You want it stiffer in the front and softer in the rear, so the car actually does squat. You do want that. And I have had trouble with that in the 180, where it's just all stiff, and it still drifts, but I don't know, it's not ideal. If you see the proper setup drift cars, they'll really sag down at the back and squat, and gives you way more grip and traction, and even though you're drifting, gives you traction drive. But I don't actually know what I'm talking about, so I'm going to install them now. Super bloody keen. And yeah, to all you guys that are talking about my hair that's missing, I know it's running out, but I'm keeping it as long as I can, because from my angle, it just looks fine. I know it's going, and one day I'm going to be bald with just a beard, which is going to be weird, but yeah, anyway. Alright, so first up what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the height before we get it in there, because it is a lot easier to do it on here. So you can measure and be pretty precise with how you want it to go. If the coilovers are already in there and you're just lowering it, then yeah, you take a measurement and you can do it that way. But this is the first time they're getting installed, so I'm just gonna slam it as low as it goes. We're gonna try and make the car fit, and then work the car around it, because you want it to be low, you know? We want to drop this thing so freaking low. So if you're lucky enough to have the actual spanners for your coilovers, you can use these. If not, use a hammer and a flathead screwdriver and knock it free. But this is actually the first time I've ever used spanners. So I'm going to break them free like that. This is your locking collar here. So you want this to go all the way to the top to have the maximum low. Obviously this will make sense in a second once I wind it in. But basically, to make it lower, you're creating this distance shorter by threading this up so that it goes inside of here, just like this. Cool. So that is so freaking small compared to this is the stock one. So this is a stock R32 coilover, and then this is the aftermarket extreme low. Like, look at the distance. That's that much. What's that, like 100 mil? That's like 100 mil. Easy 100 mil. That's a freaking lot. So this might be even too low, but we'll figure out in a second.
I ain't no slave to this rap shit. Motherfuckers wanna live for the clout, so they die for the fame. On the flame to this rap pit. Let me breathe is a true recipe for some bad intentions. 101 that ain't this. This that roll up anywhere, fucking starting through your city, getting litty. This that Kobe step back shit. Holla.
Alright, so the first one on the front here is in. Just a little tip that I had to figure out. It's easier if you put the top in first, and then you go and align the bottom just by putting a jack on your lower control arm and jacking it up. And then on the bottom of your front coilovers, if you're doing R32, one side has a bigger there's like a bushing in here, and it's a really nice silicone, and then there's a black washer that comes with it that fits on this side. The bigger distance side goes on the inside, and then the smaller one goes on the outside. I'm going to show you on this one that's out of the car. So you can see here there's a bigger piece here, and then that washer there sits on it. That goes on the inside, that goes on the outside. It feels like it's not going to fit, but if you have a rubber mallet, you just give it a couple of knocks right there. That part of the coilover is pretty strong. So it did feel weird smacking my brand new coilovers with a mallet, but this is the trusty mallet from Kmart, and it's done a lot of jobs already, and it was probably like $4. Absolute freaking bargain. So if you want a rubber mallet, get yourself one of those. These are just looking freaking amazing, hey? Like, absolutely beautiful car parts. And yeah, now to find out how low it's going to be. So I'm going to put this wheel on and see where it's sitting. Won't know fully until they're all done, but getting pretty bloody excited. Alright, I'm going to let the jack down. Watch how much this wheel droops. Yeah, nah, nothing at all. Nothing. Absolutely zero. Time for a wheel. So I've still kept the metal guards that came on the car stock, the GCST ones, because fiberglass front guards suck. They really do. Holy shit, that's low. That is like mega low, eh? I can't wait to put this thing on the ground, like actually lower it down. It's gonna look insane. Alright, so I'm just gonna do the other three, and then yeah, we'll put all the wheels on and we'll lower it down and just see how low it actually sits. It's gonna scrub like a bitch at the start, but we'll fix that. We focus? Alrighty, so the backs are done. Let's go check it out. This is how I did the backs basically with the rears, they're just a long strut that bolts in at the top here with two nice brand new golden bolts, and then underneath here they bolt on at the bottom here, and yeah, it's just a coilover that looks like that, you know, basic as. It is maxed out on the lowest setting, and I don't know if the wheel's even going to fit on there right now, because that is freaking low. If it does, it's going to be pushing against that pretty good, and if it does push it out when I drop it down a bit, as long as I can get the tire on, I don't mind, because I am going to be cutting these guards out anyway. They do have like a heap of rust in here. That's why the shell was never, the plan was never to register it and just to make it a track car, but I'm thinking about retroing it, because this car's probably going to be done before the 180, just because of the engine situation. So the forged engine's going in here, and yeah, so this car's probably going to be done first, which is crazy. But let's see if these wheels fit on. Yay! Holy shit. I've never put a wheel on that was that freaking tight. Like, the rim is touching the freaking car. You can't really see, but that's tucking so freaking hard. This is going to be wild when I drop that down. Hopefully it doesn't actually touch the rim. Oh, it'll push it in a little bit once it's tight. But man, it's hard to see because it's black. But this is slammed as a motherfucker. Oh man, this is cool. This is cool. This is taking me back to days when I used to have a Honda Civic, and I used to want it to be as low as possible and just scrape on everything. It's taking me back to those times. It's gonna be so good scraping on everything again. Okay, so both wheels are on, and that side's okay, but this side here on the left, it's touching the metal, like fully touching. So what I'm gonna do, just to get around it for now, obviously I'm gonna have to cut these guards out because I've got over fenders going on. Whoop-dee. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some camber in this, because I've got all the adjustable arms under there. So I'm going to lift it up on the hoist, put some camber in so that it'll tuck real nice. But that's like crazy, like airbag fitment right here. It's nuts. So yeah, let's lift it up and do just those camber arms to get it to sit inside the guard. Then we can drop it down. It's gonna be it's gonna be crazy. I just know it already, like looking at that, it just looks nuts. Alrighty, so I dropped it down, just on some blocks, otherwise I'll never get it back on the hoist. And this is like the craziest fitment you'll ever see. That is gnarly shit. Obviously the wheel's not gonna spin because it's like the tire is up in there, hard against the car. But the car looks unreal at this height. Like, it's hard to capture on camera how sick this is, but holy shit, I am freaking pumped about this. I had to go down the shop and buy a spanner, a 32mm spanner. Like, that's a big ass freaking spanner, just to adjust my camber. So I pulled it in as far as it goes on the rear to try and get the wheel in. This side was just enough, but this side here, the rim is touching on the actual guard. That's tucking like a mofo, like full Commodore spec. But it just looks sick. Super happy with these coilovers. Super keen to give them an actual test run. You won't be able to adjust the dampening settings. I did forget to mention that. The dampening settings, look how nice this looks, black and gold. On top here you've got your dampening settings. You lift it up, couple of clicks to the left, couple of clicks to the right if you want harder or softer, and that is really ideal for setting up your car to exactly how you like it, because you can play around with that quite a bit. But man, whew, just whack these front guards on there just for a second just to have a look. So at the moment my plan is, I do like the GTR style where it's like, it's kind of pretty basic like this. So, and I do want to keep metal, because yeah, metal guards are sick. Fiberglass guards, they just, like, I'll show you fiberglass guards. This is what happens to fiberglass guards and low cars, especially when you go off the track as much as me. You get big gouges out of there, and yeah, it's hard to fix. And yeah, just not as cool. I think I'm gonna stick with the stock metal guards and then just roll them. So I'll get these rolled enough to fit this size wheel, because these are gonna be my front runners. And then on the back, what I'm planning to do is to get someone that knows what they're doing and cut out these guards. I've done it on the 180, but I did a really shit job of it. Cut these out and weld in a section to make it nice, and then fit an over fender. You probably would have seen these on the videos, just sitting in the back here. But I got these over fenders. Look how much dust is on them, because they've been sitting around for so long. I think they're like 25 mil, which is not that much, but... So I actually just noticed, I bought freaking, I've got 2 sets of over fenders here. Why the hell have I got 2 sets of over fenders? I think maybe one of them, why is there 2 sets? I think one of them, nah, what the hell? One of them must be bigger. I think I got one that was only small, and then I bought another set. Wow, I can fully sell those. Got so much shit here, eh? That's so crazy. But yeah, I got over fenders here that are going to go on the guards, cut them out, give you more clearance, and look heaps more like the GTR spec, which is like what I like. I like the GTR look. On the rear, I'm just going to run the plastic bumper bar, because I've learnt from the S13 bars that me and fiberglass rear bars don't go together at the moment. So I'm going to run the plastic one with some pods. I'll show you in another episode the whole body kit, but it's going to look sick. The first part was getting the height right so that we can build the car around the height. So that's going to be freaking awesome, coming up very soon. That's a wrap from this episode, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Going out for dinner, going to see Enzo and Zara, and I hope all you guys have a really nice evening and have a nice time with your families and friends, and I'll see you guys very soon. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's crowning. I can feel the head. I've done this before. That's him. We can probably sand it down a bit. Can't you sand that down? It's Tom's face.
Yeah, dude. Go for it.
He's just like...